All right, we had a pretty big moment recently. Well, by we, I look to my co-host, Wads. Wads and the team at Crypto.com Arena.
All right, relax. Everyone relax. It takes all of us, okay?
We had a pretty good moment. I need to give a shout out here to the team at Crypto.com, all a part of Replay Row. Tom over here, I don't even call you Tom, Wads, Emery, and Andre. They were doing replay at Crypto.com for the Lakers-Rockets first game the other night, and they had a big moment. So I want to let's give some background first. Like, basically, there's some differences between doing replay for TV and doing replay for the in-house arena scoreboard. So
when you do replay in a truck setting versus an in-house setting, you know, it could be the same box, the same machine, but the job is different, right? There's different responsibilities. In a truck setting, you're doing it for TV. You're doing it for the viewer, the fan, for everybody at the bar, right? You're going to have way more viewers, naturally. Okay, but when you do in-house in an arena, you know, in a big stadium, you're predominantly working for the home team. You're either working for the team directly, or, you know, you're working for a company that's employed by the team. Bottom line is, you know, home team oriented. So your responsibilities change, you know, and I would say the main responsibility doing in-house replay is to assist in initiating a coach's challenge, especially in football and basketball.
Exactly. And in case you didn't know, Replay Row started at SoFi Stadium. It was a group of friends. We all did replay. We all sat on the same row, aka Replay Row. And our job at that in-house, our job at SoFi was to overturn calls, to show the angles on the screen quick enough so McVay or whoever the coach is can look up and throw their challenge flag.
Also Staley.
Right. Look up, throw their challenge flag. Same goes for in-house NBA. You know, we want to get the replay up as quick as possible so the coach can look up, and, you know, maybe the staff isn't seeing the feed quick enough. So we want to be fast. We want to beat the broadcast if we can.
We want to beat the broadcast, and we want, you know, again, we want to make it clear, you know, the coach is right. Bottom line, the guys on the bench, they have the final say. You know, we feel like we make a difference, but, you know, there's also, you know, a coach with an iPad, you know, maybe a Microsoft tablet that's also looking at feeds, right? But, you know, like the NFL says, it takes all of us. So any little thing that we can do to help affect, you know, to help the home team win, you know, that's what we try to do.
Hey, it's called home court advantage for a reason. And it goes all the way to the replay guys that are doing the replays for the Jumbotron. So
video screen, please.
Okay,
please. Correct nomenclature.
Video screen. So big shout out to the guys who were doing it. You know, we're based in LA. So Emery, Andre, and our boy here, Wads, were on the sticks for that game. And they had a huge moment because, watch this clip. It's the second quarter. There's a block charge call. They call it a charge. And the broadcast camera cuts over to JJ on the sideline. And look at JJ looking at the video board. And he sees it immediately, looks to his bench, throws the challenge, or signals for the challenge. And that is just a perfect execution from our guys on Replay Row who were at the game. They got the replay up very quick. They got it up before the broadcast got it up. So JJ, he didn't even look back at his bench. He looked straight up at the video screen, saw the play. It was the correct angle. We'll get into that in a minute. And he challenged, and ultimately he got the call overturned. So Wads, walk us through this call, how to go down. Like, were you the one rolling the replay? Was it someone else?
So it was myself and Emery Smith. Shout out Emery Smith. Shout out Compton. Shout out Verbum Day. Legend. Love you, Emery. Love you, Dre, as well. Emery and I were the ones doing the replays for the calls that night. I believe the sequence was overhead robo, so ball side robo, which is this angle that We're showing you from the broadcast.
So that was your first look right here.
That was first look right there.
This is the critical look. It was a perfect choice. So if it was you, Emery, whoever made the call, great choice.
So that was number one. This was the first look. Second look, I believe, was opposite side slash, right, to see him moving right out of position. And the director of the Lakers, right? You know, the Lakers, they have such a good team. You know, the leadership over there, outstanding. You know, Matt, Chris, Carter, Megan, Mike, shout out South Bay. They do a great job. And so Matt, right? So I show the first look of the robo, and then we go to Emery. He shows the slash, and Matt's, you know, re-rack yellow. And that's a TV term of the day. Okay, callback, re-rack. Mm-hmm. So I show it first. We go to a different output, right? Because we're ping-ponging outputs. And then we went back to the robo. So I think the overall sequence was, you know, ball side robo, reverse slash, ball side robo, high tight. You know, and we got 4 looks in immediately, and probably, I don't know, 10 seconds, 8, you know, whatever. It's a short amount of time, right? Like, that's part of the job. You got to be a little, you know, high pressure situations. You got to be quick, you know, you know, and again, like, I want to reiterate, right? It takes all of us, you know, the camera ops got to be good. You know, the TD that night was, John Powell, you know, and he, you know, great dude, great. John works everywhere, you know, Dodgers, Lakers, Kings, I think he does a lot of FanDuel, horse racing, and he has to, you know, he's hitting the switcher, right? And again, that's broadcasting. It's a group project every single night. You know, you're not going to know everyone, you know, most nights. But when you work in-house, oftentimes you're working with the same crew over and over. You know, you're able to develop, you know, good chemistry and these good relationships. And, you know, I think it was evident, you know, it was showcased, you know, in this specific instance.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was just like awesome that the broadcast actually caught JJ looking up at the screen, because you don't always get to see that, but that's as someone who works in-house. I don't work at crypto, but for these guys, when the coach looks up at your replay and that leads to a challenge and then an overturn call for the home team, like, that's why
there's nothing better.
That's like why you do it.
That's the pinnacle of the job.
That's exactly.
It's like, oh man, can you imagine, like, 10-year-old Bierman, 10-year-old Wads, like, oh man, yeah. I'm helping the boys right now, man. Yeah. You think you are, maybe, you know, again, like, you kind of think you are. Sometimes maybe a little. Sometimes you think you're helping more than you should. You know, who really knows? But yeah, just pumped. You know, and Sengun, you know, good effort, not good enough. Slide in there, and if you notice, you know, his left heel is right on the line.
Yeah.
So he's, you know,
and he's still sliding. He's moving.
You know, good effort, whatever. You know, just not good enough.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit of what we do besides the broadcast side. So it's kind of fun to just talk about the differences. You know, broadcast, you're trying to just show the best angle, like exactly what Wads was saying earlier, trying to show the best angle all the time. But sometimes in-house, you're trying to just speed is like the main thing. Like, you're trying to get it up there quick. You want it to be the right angle, but you want to get it up there quick so the coach can see it and it can affect the game. And in this case, they overturned the call and the Lakers ended up scoring on the next possession. So let's go, boys.
It takes all of us. Obsess over greatness.